Welcome back. It's 8:11 right now. Turning tragedy into triumph. That's what a nonprofit in the Bronx is doing for college-bound students.
Applications are now open for the $20,000 Brandon Hendricks Scholarship, named after a 17-year-old who was gunned down in the Bronx just 2 days after graduating high school in 2020. Brandon was a star athlete who was headed to St. John's University on a full basketball scholarship. And this morning we are joined by Tomas Ramos, the founder of the Bronx nonprofit group Oyate, and we have one of last year's scholarship winners who may be joining us. We're trying to get him right now virtually from Brandeis University in Massachusetts, Bryant Frimpong, so he may be joining us. Stay tuned for that. But let's welcome Tomas right now. Thank you for being here in person in studio. Tell us a bit more, because it's $20,000 each for two people, right? Tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and its mission before we get into the actual scholarship.
So when we were thinking of a name, we wanted to bring it back to the root of the natives that were here before us. The Lenape language has been decimated. So then we found Oyate group. Oyate means the people in the Dakota language, and everything we do is to serve the people. Yeah. We're an anti-poverty nonprofit focusing on youth services, small business empowerment, and holistic community intervention.
And talk about why you decided to name it after Brandon.
So Brandon, you know, not only was he a rising star, he was an inspiration for everybody that knew him, including myself. I was a director at a local community center, and he was a participant of mine for years. So I would see him, you know, practicing in the morning. He was just a good overall, you know, young person, and I wanted to continue his honor and also to lessen the financial burden for students that are going into college.
Yeah. What are the details and requirements to apply for this scholarship?
So you have to be a senior going into your freshman year of college and from the Bronx. Those are the requirements.
That's it?
That's it, yeah. And it's $20,000, $5,000 every year. You have to maintain a 3.0 GPA and then also join an extracurricular, you know, activity. Yeah.
So how many scholarships have you awarded so far?
Over 20 students so far.
Wow. And what kind of a difference has it made in their lives?
You know, we don't put restrictions on these funds because we understand that a lot of, you know, there's a lot of financial burden on these, you know, young people going to college. So we allow them to use it, whether it's for, you know, purchasing food, groceries, rent, whatever they think, you know, they need.
Oh, that's great, because some scholarships are just for tuition, but it's those other costs that could really bankrupt some folks in terms of school. Just the books alone in college, that, you know, go to a bookstore, it can cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
And that's what we've heard from a lot of our students, is that this has helped them because they're able to get the little extra things that otherwise their universities aren't, you know, able to pay for them to do.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, they have to write essays. Have you been able to, are you privy to reading any of those? Are you part of the group that decides who gets these scholarships?
And so we have a committee. I am one of them. Also, Brandon Hendricks' mother, his basketball coach, and his uncle are part of the committee. So every single year, we read through the different applications, and that's how we, you know, it's ranked choice, and then we get together and, you know, pick the students that we think that will come back and really, you know, make a difference to the community that, you know, raised them and gave them the opportunity to continue, you know, to rise.
That's amazing. Yeah. We have Bryant with us right now virtually from Brandeis University. So good to see you. You were last year's winner.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you for joining us this morning, right? So we're hearing all about this scholarship. And for you, you know, you just completed your first semester. If you didn't get the scholarship, do you think you would have been able to attend?
After completing my first semester of college, I feel like I've been able to experience, like, firsthand the true financial cost that comes with college.
Yeah.
Previously, like, being awarded the Posse Scholarship, I feel like there's no doubt I would have been able to attend college, but it was like, at what cost? So without the scholarship, attending Brandeis University would have, like, been significantly challenging for the next 4 years, especially for my family. The Brandon Hendricks Scholarship has not only, like, helped me pursue my academic goals, but has also alleviated, like, financial stress for my family and I.
Good. Oh, wow. And so you had to write the essay. We were just talking about that here. Do you remember what you wrote and what you said about how Brandon has impacted or inspired your life?
Right. So, you know, coming from the Bronx, you know, as a student, just, like, reflecting on, like, what, like, some of my experiences, I know that, you know, some people have not been able to, like, experience the same things, you know, coming from different places. And I remember writing about the, like, all the various extracurricular activities that I was in and I know Brandon himself was like an athlete, so just like really like I feel like that shaped me into who I am today, and just like holding all those various leadership positions in high school. You know, it was tough to juggle, but in the process, I feel like I was able to like learn valuable lessons such as like responsibility and like learning how to prioritize some things before others.
Yeah, I mean, and certainly it's carried on into your first semester. You made the dean's list. Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I
Have you
appreciate
decided on a major?
it. Not
You got
yet.
time.
Not
You got
like
plenty of time. Don't worry. I didn't know at first anyway.
Well, what is it that you want to do, though? I know it's still a ways away, but
Right.
what are you hoping to do once you finish school?
So I haven't fully like committed to my major yet, but I'm planning to pursue a double major in computer science and math,
Excuse
and
me.
hopefully like working in the technology field.
All right. Well, good luck. All right. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
And Tomas, people can apply till.
Till the end of March, you can go to our website, oyategroup.org, and we encourage everyone to apply.
Good.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And for more information on the Brandon Hendricks Scholarship, you can head over to our website, pix11.com. We'll have all the details there. Thank you again to both of you for
Yes.
being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your
Brian,
time.
good luck, all
Thank
right?
you for having us.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
well on your way. Double major. That's good stuff right there.